morning, E-Dirt. Welcome to Hollywood Hills, just after the halfway marker of the mad racing month of March. And weekends don't get much madder than the one that I've just come back from. I actually checked out that there were 7 events happening this weekend. So you guys had absolutely no excuses to not go out there and rip the bars off, the bikes, the cars, all the quads, whatever was your poison, because there was so much happening. I was down in Dahlstrom for the opening round of the SACCS for the cars, and that was just an absolute mud slog fest. Just to give you guys an idea, the very best in the country is Neil de Villiers, who did go on to win in his factory spec Toyota Gazoo Racing SA Hilux. But that first opening loop for them, 170 k's in the mud. Normally these guys run an average speed of around about 85, 90 k's an hour. 60 k's an hour, 170 k's, that means it took them over 3.5 hours. And just so you guys know as well, the side-by-sides actually ran faster lap times. I think it was a 3:13 first lap coming in from the side-by-sides. So well done for the SXS guys. But that's how tough the conditions were. And checking out the internet and checking out everything else that happened, it seems like that was the story of the weekend. We got dumped on up at Dahlstrom, but everyone else did as well. The guys that were racing the Colini event, which is part of the Africa Off-Roads, good to see quite a few guys going up there. Looks like Russell Ferreira and Gideon Jacobs made it up there. Gideon going for a big dive in the mud, but did walk away with his win on the quad side of things. So that's 2 events we're talking about already. The other event that happened this weekend, just up the road from here, that was in Heidelberg. So that was the EWXC round, and it looks like the king of the EWXCs, as always, Dwayne Clennams, walked away with the victory that time. He was pushed hard this time though, because Flanny was in the mix. Flanny's making a lot of trips up here to Gauteng from KZN to keep his blade sharp. So good to see the old war of KTM versus Yamaha going, but it was Dwayno and Flanny that walked away with that one. Little Wilson, that's Matty Wilson, he walked away clean score sheet again. So Matty Wilson on the Junior 85s so far on GXCCs and every event on the EWXC Tour so far unbeaten. So he is the pinner, and we called that going forward into the season. I got to refer down to my notes now because there's so many other things happening. Up the road from me, just across the road from Krugersdorp, and before you get to Randfontein, the second round of the regional SAs, and that was up here for motocross. Dirt Broncos, always going to be a gnarly track. When it rains, it's an absolute slime fest. I sent Ty and Kerry went up and helped out for Hollywood Coffee. We had a great day up there, and that was what was happening up that side as well. What else was going on? A WFO down in KZN. So that's the series that they run down there. Very tough races, and Travis Teasdale was back from international duties, as well as Wade Young. It was Double T that walked away with the victory this time. Wade Young in second place, and the Slayer took the number 3 spot. And they looked like they had some real good numbers on the page. But the story of this weekend, across the country, that cold front pulled in all the rain, and it got gnarly, slimy, racy, wet, and just how we like it, nice and dirty. The other thing that was happening as well was Gold Rush, not far from where I was, up at Dahlstrom. So I know those guys got absolutely creamed with all that gnarly weather and the mist that pulled in there at Pilgrim's Rest. That was the Gold Rush GPS event. I know Leon and the boys from the Farm Jam and Vans Racing went up to see what they could do. So I'll catch them next week, because obviously I'm going to be up there with the guys from Farm Jam for their second round. That's all happening next weekend. And then there was also the Rietfontein Rally, where we saw Ruan Taut and Johan Oosthuizen walk away with the wins on the bikes and quads. So Vans Racing had a very, very solid racing weekend. But that was the story of this weekend. 7 events. Can you believe it? 7 events all happening at the same time, and all receiving pretty good numbers as far as I believe. So that just shows that we're not in too bad a shape as far as a racing nation goes. And everyone says there's a recession, but it never really affects racing. It does, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? You always get the guys that, if you want to race, you go race. So very cool to see that. So what's coming down the road? Okay, next weekend, I said, round number 2 of Farm Jam. I'm going to be up there on the mic, as well as taking Hollywood Coffee up the hill there as well. At the same time, it's going to be the next round. That's round number 3 of the... Is it round number 3? No, it's round number 2 of the regional championship for off-road cars, and that's at Barbaspan, so that's up in the northwest. At the same time, there's just going to be a ton of things building up as well. You'll have seen that I've been doing some promotion work with the guys from Mama Rock Enduro, who had their event labeled for the last racing weekend of this month. Well, I just got home and actually got told that by my wife that they've posted something up on social media saying that they are going to be moving the date out. So wait for a call on that. So that means the racing weekend right at the end of March. There's no Mamarock, but there is going to be the National Enduro Round down at Cape Town. At the moment, it doesn't look like I'm going down for that one, but with the open weekend, I might see if I can squeeze that in, and obviously that's going to be falling in line with the Easter holidays. But what an incredible racing weekend. So cool to see so many things happening. The guys from Polysport are definitely going to be getting a lot of business from this weekend because plastics were getting absolutely smashed up in the mud. So go see the guys from Polysport. They will hook you up with all of your protection and plastic gear. The guys from Beta, and it's good to start talking about Travis Teasdale back on SA soil, riding for B Trimbone as well. So nice to see his local sponsors and long-time supporters looking after him. But the guys from Beta SA and Cayenne, they've got all their specials pumping out. So go check out what they have got on the floor. A lot of blowouts for the late 2016, 2017s. They've got so much stock to move. And of course, Hollywood Coffee, that's my deal, and it's starting to look real good. I think we had something like 300 cups sold at Dirt Broncos Motocross, so that's just nice work for us. The guys down at Holeshot, they'll be busy. They had a lot of team riders working this weekend, racing all over the country at all kinds of different events, but go check those guys out. They have got tons of Husky kit, as well as all of the latest and greatest off-road and on-road accessories. They'll hook you up. For now, 7 events on a weekend. Boom. Off-road racing is in good shape. We'll see you guys down the bend. Our buddies over at Holeshot have got some incredible specials running at the moment. EVS helmets, they are stocked up to the gills, and they are pretty much blowing them out at 50% off. On the EVS T5 helmets, they're selling at 950 Rands. That's under 1,000 Rand. That is insane. And the EVS T7 helmets running at 1450, just under 15. So get across to Holeshot, they will hook you up.